Hey everyone, welcome back to Housingnet. In this video, we're going to show you how to navigate suburb reviews in any sort of suburb that you're interested in Australia. Let's come have a look. So starting from our browser, let's go to the front page of the Housingnet website. So let's just search up housingnet.com.au. Once you're on the front page of the website, you'll notice at the top, there's a section called Suburb Review, and that's essentially how we navigate the reviews of each suburb. We can also access it through down here if you want to search up a specific suburb postcode, or we can go through accessing this. This is something we don't actually need to be a membership for, so you'll notice in my other videos, we do tell you that you need to be a membership in order to access the stays or allied health services. But for these are accessible to the general public and anyone that's interested. You can also scroll down to the very bottom. You can have a look at the sub-reviews by your community here. It's also accessible down here, the very bottom of the website. So sub-review. So once we're here, let's go ahead and press the sub-review at the very top. Once you're here in the Australian suburb reviews, you'll be greeted with this page where it'll show you the top ranked suburbs by locals in the community, and it'll show you all the different places across Australia. It'll also show you the recent reviews of different sort of people that have recommended each place. Now, essentially how this works is it'll show you what the suburb is great for, what it's not great for, and the demographic that lives here. So for example, Keegan has recommended this place for being very safe for eating out, but it's not quite great for schools, hospitals, and the main demographic lives here is families and kids. So let's come back up, and let's say, for example, let's have a look at Greater Sydney. Now we can see here in Greater Sydney that it has 32 locations with over 300 reviews. So now we can have a look at, let's say, let's click on a random one. Let's click Parramatta. Now we can see here that over 44% of people would recommend Parramatta, with it being overall of 3.9 stars, 9 reviews. Now we can see here that Parramatta is great for being very safe, public transport or parking, but it's not so great for eating out and schools and hospitals. And the main demographic that lives here is professionals. You can also see here that you're also able to write a review in the location that you're currently selected. So let's say if I want to leave a review in Parramatta, we just click write a review. And once we do that, we'll be given this option, and it gives you a note saying that your registered name will be published with your ratings. However, your email address will not be published. Now let's have a look. Let's say I want to review Parramatta as we can go poor, bad, good, or great, excellent. Let's click excellent for rating. You can say if you want to recommend this location, just click yes. And you have the option to choose which best describes the suburb and the demographic that may live here that you've personally experienced. So let's say I consider it very safe, eating out, public transport, hospitals, and parking. Let's say mainly who lives here, families and kids, singles and students. You can also write here what you would like to tell people about your review. So let's say I would like to say very good for eating out, and let's say but not many schools nearby. And we just click send. Once you click send, you'll be given this thank you screen showing appreciation to your review and how valuable it is to our community. Once you do that, if you go back to the front page of the suburb reviews, you can scroll down and you can see that the most recent reviews is the review we had just left. So Parramatta, again, as we previously just done, is great for safe eating, eating out, public transport, hospitals or parking. It's not great for schools or being a squeaky clean or neighborhood spirit. Also shows a demographic, as we just mentioned, and we can see the little comment that we left. Going back to our front page, we can also use the search bar here to look for any suburb reviews. So let's say we want to go back to Parramatta, we just search up 2150, search up the postcode. And once we search up the postcode, it'll take us to the suburb that you've just entered in. And then here you can see a review that we just left. Very good for eating, but not many schools nearby, as a recent review. Thank you guys so much for watching, and that's how you navigate suburb reviews on Housingnet. If you guys are looking for a stay or have stayed at one of our accommodations, please make sure you leave a sub review in the house that you stayed at, as it helps the community filter out which accommodation suits them and what doesn't. Thank you guys so much for watching again, for watching our videos, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time.